I'm Scott Makin. We are BBC Radio Tees and welcome to your weekend. Saturday breakfast, waking up to the 15th of February, bracing ourselves for Storm Dennis. And so far, thankfully, it's been a quiet one for our emergency services across Teesside County, Durham and North Yorkshire. But preparations to ensure that we're as prepared as we can be for Storm Dennis are underway. And in our part of the world, of course, Swaledale around Reeth, Richmond, Crook and Bishop Auckland were hit by flooding recently. And North Yorkshire County Council is leading a big partnership of agencies to spring into action. And with me on the line right now is an Assistant Director on the Council, Neil Irving. Morning, Neil.
Morning, Scott.
Great to have you on BBC Radio Tees. Thanks so much for joining us. Which public bodies are you working with at North Yorkshire County Council then?
Okay, it's all the local authorities, the police, the fire service, the health service, the Environment Agency, the Met Office, and there are other partners around as well, including people like Mountain Rescue.
We were talking to Kat Christodoulou at the Weather Centre 20 minutes back, and at the minute, I think, we were saying it pretty much is the calm before the storm, and don't be fooled by it because, we are going to get hit with some strong winds, some heavy rain from later on this morning and into this afternoon as well. What are the main hazards that you're all on the highest alert for?
The main risk is flooding because of high rainfall on ground that's already wet. So it's particularly important that people are aware whether their house, their property is an area that's prone to flooding. So they should know that from the Environment Agency, but they can check online. People are advised not to travel unless it's absolutely essential. And particularly, if you come across flood water on the road, don't drive into it. If there are signs saying it's flooded and closed, please do not remove the signs. We certainly had instances last weekend of people doing that.
No way.
And then having to be rescued. Yes.
Wow. What sort of work have you been doing since last week then to prepare yourselves for this weekend?
So working flat out, clearing drains at known hotspots, getting sandbags ready, making repairs to some road surfaces that were damaged last weekend, making sure we've got staff on standby, particularly from lunchtime today. As you say, it is the calm before the storm at the moment, so that people are able to respond as soon as we know what the impact is.
Obviously, with everything that went down before in North Yorkshire, with all the flooding, tell me about the resources that you've got on standby this time round if the worst should happen again.
Well, a whole load of agencies, including our Highways Department, Mountain Rescue, Fire Service, Police. We have groups of volunteers as well who are ready.
And what can we do then, Neil, as ordinary citizens to help ourselves? If we're being told about this big storm, particularly after Kira last week, and now it's Storm Dennis. And if anybody's kind of just a little bit worried, is there anything that we can do to help ourselves?
As I say, I think you need to understand whether or not your house is potentially in a flood risk area, and making sure that you're prepared. There are perhaps things in your garden that are tied down rather than able to blow around and cause damage. But particularly think about travel, and if possible, don't make journeys today.
Neil, thank you so much for joining us. That's Neil Irving, Assistant Director at North Yorkshire County Council.